Well, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about insulating a Carolina carport metal garage. This is my metal building that I had put up. It's been up a little bit over a year now. And this is kind of a pay-as-you-go project. So I've got the insulation. I'm working on getting the insulation finished up here. You can see I'm using 2-inch polystyrene insulation. It's the majority of it is got a plastic coating on one side, got a silver coating on the other side of it there, you can see. I'm building a ceiling over top of the trusses, the bottom cord of the truss up there, and I'm actually creating an attic space above it. It's not a usable space, but the idea of that is to let air circulate above the insulation panels back and forth from side to side, end to end, so that it can put air up in there to keep those roof panels dry so that they don't sweat. It's a theory. I hope it works. Otherwise, it'll come raining down through a little bit. Shouldn't be much, but in reality, that theory should work. I've done this before. I used to build metal buildings and pole buildings years and years ago, and that worked. So that's the idea behind that. I'm down to the very last piece that I'm going to put in to create that attic space, which is that little piece right there. I have it laying in the man lift. If you're doing any of this kind of work, and if you're an old guy like me, I'm 68, got to have a man lift. That idea of running up and down ladders and climbing and worrying about falling off, that's for young guys. They can fall off and recover in a short period of time. Us old guys don't recover from falls. You know, it's obvious you don't want to fall anyway. Geez, I mean, that concrete's pretty hard. And I don't bounce as good as I used to. It's my running joke with people. Anyhow, so that's how I'm insulating the first layer of insulation in my building. You can see I cut the insulation in squares and wedged it in between all the framework. Roof, walls, everything there. Now, those panels that are coming up off the eave, they come up 8 foot, and then this ceiling panel pushes back over top of it, and it seals it right there. Now I'm going to take caulking and caulk all these joints to seal it up, and I'm going to run expanded urethane foam at the eave there to seal all that up, to keep the air going over top so that the air doesn't come down through. So that's the next part of this project, is I just got to go around the whole building and caulk everything. And I got some holes here where the saw, I cut this all with my table saw right there, is how I cut it. And I drew lines on it and cut it with a table saw and stuff. But I've got some spots like up in there, that one up there. You can see where it jumped on the table saw. I need to spray some foam in that hole. There's some holes up there in that far corner up there. The bottom cord coming across, I didn't get it cut real tight. I need to put a little bit of spray foam in there. I got a panel coming loose over there. I'm going to put that panel back up in. But anyway, that's the first layer of insulation. The second layer of insulation is going to be fiberglass metal building insulation with the white vinyl backing on it. I think I'm going to buy it in 4-foot widths just because it's easier to work with. I can get 4 foot, 5 foot, or 6 foot. I'm going to buy the 4 foot. It'll be more seams, but it'll be much easier to work with. And what I'm going to hang it with is going to be these little things right here, these insulation pins. I'm going to hang you glue these. What I'm going to do, I'm going to glue these. There you go. I'm going to glue these right on there with silicone insulation. I've tried silicone caulking. I tried regular painter's caulking. I tried liquid nails, and I tried silicone. Silicone's the one in this temperature that holds the best. It dries in about 2 days. The other stuff hasn't dried yet. So, and the silicone works really good to the point of, I put one of these little fasteners up there on the wall right there to hold my temporary power cord going up to the light and going up to the overhead overhead door opener. And it's holding the weight without any problem. I mean, there's not a lot of weight there. There'll be even less weight when I put insulation up there. So that's the whole idea of using these insulation pins. You get a pin that you glue onto the wall, and what I do is I'll glue them onto the metal, like either these main support pieces, or I'll glue them to the girts pieces, or I'll glue them right onto the other insulation, wherever it needs to space out at. And once you have those, you have to purchase them separately, but you get these little washers. And these washers have a hole in the center, but you can see they're like a wedge in there, and you just push that down over that. And I actually put a socket on, deep well socket on a driver, 1/4-inch driver, so that I could just push them on whenever I do it. I experimented with a couple of these things up in here whenever I was putting some of them on, just to see how they would hold. And that's where I determined that the silicone is the best product to use. Of course, that's my luck. Silicone's $14 a tube. Liquid nails is $5 a tube, the cheap liquid nails, but it doesn't work, so it doesn't matter. So anyway, that's going to be what the next step of this project, but I'm just about done with the initial insulation. I've got a old torpedo here. I've had that thing for 30, 40 years. And it takes very little bit of time to heat this place up. Even when I had a couple holes back in there, it takes very little time to heat this place up. But you get all them fumes from it. So I'm going to go to a propane heater, and I think I'm going to try. My ideal heat for this building would be radiant tube heaters like Koray Vac, or there's a couple other brand names, I can't think of them right now, but it would hang up here in the ceiling, point down towards about the center of the building, and heat this floor and everything around it. That would be propane fired. I'll set a propane tank outside, like a 500-gallon propane tank outside the garage here, outside the shop, and that would work well. But that's page 2 or page 3 down the road here. Like I say, this is a pay-as-you-go thing. At my age, I'm not going in debt. Who knows how long the good Lord's got left for me. So anyway, so that's how I'm doing my Carolina carport insulation. So like I said, the ultimate plan here is not only heat the building for winter time, it's simply comfort heating. I don't have any water or anything in here that I have to keep constant heat in here. But in the summertime, I'd also like to have air conditioning. And I'm thinking about putting like a wall unit over there, a big window unit, cut a hole in through the wall and set it in there and air condition, because I'll mostly work up on this end of the building anyway. So, but again, I hope this helps somebody, gives you some ideas, see what someone else's looks like. That's how I did. I watched YouTube videos and saw what other people were doing. Plus, there was a guy close to me here that was doing this he was using Armax insulation, just 1 inch thick, because that's all he could afford. And I went and looked at his stuff. This insulation came from a guy down in North Carolina, Morganton, North Carolina. He's on Facebook. That's where I found it. Good guy. I was nervous, buying something from somebody off of Facebook, especially out of state. But he said, no, don't worry about it. He said, you give me the order, I'll have it delivered to you. You pay me when they deliver it. I thought, I can't lose. And that's how it worked. And it's worked out really well. Come in bundles like that right there. I got 1 bundle left over, 9 sheets in a bundle. They had shorted me a couple sheets on the overall order, which was fine. I didn't need them. And he didn't charge me for it. So, good, honest guy, good guy. Look on Facebook, look for 2-inch insulation. He has other kinds of insulation too. He has the really good insulation. It's more expensive, but this was, I forget the price of this, but it was reasonable. I could afford it. So that's why I'm using what I'm using. But anyway, so there you go. I hope this helps somebody out and gives you an idea of one of the ways to insulate one of these carport style buildings. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I appreciate everybody that sees my videos and gives positive feedback. Your negative feedback you don't need to leave, because I'll just delete it anyway. So appreciate it all. God bless. Thanks for watching.